We're ready to go then for the opening game. And the ball is up, we're off and underway. Real Madrid will get us started. And here's the man to watch in the center of your screen. On the ball, Djurjevic.
He is definitely the man to watch. You know, maybe one of the best all-around overall basketball players, experience and talent here this weekend in London.
Nate Ranking certainly will have his hands full guarding him here. I'm sure we'll see some double teams as well. Great pass as Meek took advantage to the mismatch as Windle helped off.
Nice backdoor play there from Eric Iturbe.
Charging foul is called against big Richard Windle. That's foul number 1 on him.
Windle goes strong to the basket here, but again, there's that guy, Iker Iturbe, Clemson University graduate there.
Slicing through the defense, another easy feed underneath, but Milic can't get it to go. Away comes Ranking. Scantlebury. Scantlebury looking to penetrate throughout to McKinney.
There's an awful lot of international experience on the floor here. Obviously Real Madrid, but again, Sheffield, you know, they've played in a lot of international competition preseason in the past. Played in the McDonald's Cup in London a few years ago as well.
Played against Sheffield Sharks, Real Madrid in that game. Madrid were comfortable winners on that occasion. Pete Scantlebury with the 3, the opening score of the night for Sheffield, and it puts them up 1.
As Pete Scantlebury knocks down the big 3 here, there's an awful lot of history between Real Madrid and Sheffield. Real Madrid has actually been to Sheffield to play because both of them were in the same pool in European competition at one point, so they actually had to play each other home and away, and at that time, that was a great contest between the British representative Sheffield and Real Madrid.
Sheffield Sharks almost pulled off the upset with the win away to Madrid. A dubious call at the end, perhaps giving Real Madrid the victory on that occasion, 78-75.
There's a real rarity there. We saw Alexander Djordjevic with a turnover. He's one of the best ball handlers, best passers, best shooters. He's just a fundamentally sound, again, a very international experienced player.
Scantlebury stumbling, looking for some help, finds Windle. Time ticking down on the 24-second offense, but thrown away now. Wide open for 3 in the corner is Roberto Nunez.
Beautiful three-point shot from Nunez, but Real Madrid are coming out very well-oiled machine right now. They're executing well, making good passes, good plays.
Windle with the step, but took the step before he put the ball down. Traveling violation called on Richard Windle. Just doesn't get it down in time before he moves his feet.
Yeah, there's no question there. He picked up his left foot, which was his pivot foot, and you've got to put the ball on the floor before that pivot foot rises.
Meek looking to penetrate through. Kicks back out. Madrid reset the offense. The high screen is offered and taken. Iturbe.
That's my boy, Iker Iturbe, Clemson University graduate, like Steve Bucknell, an ACC first-team All-Atlantic Coast Conference member from Clemson, South Carolina, now experiencing great success with Real Madrid.
Behind the back pass, lost through the hands of Milic. McKinney comes up with it, not loose. Last touch, Nunez, so the Sharks will keep possession.
This is Iturbe's, it's only his second year of professional basketball, as you know, he just left, recently graduated from Clemson University, but he had a great career there at Clemson, took them to the NCAA Sweet 16, was one of the finest players in the country. Now he's having an excellent professional career with Real Madrid.
Nice little move in the baseline. There's a new face to the BBL on the Sheffield Sharks team as he runs back for some defense as well at the same time there. Does Bennett, Zach Bennett.
You know, with this new 24-second shot clock, you know, it really does promote getting up and down the floor quickly. And as you see, Real Madrid already making every effort to run the fast break at every opportunity.
Well, Madrid have run the fast break, and they've run it effectively. It's forced Chris Finch into his first timeout of the game. His side trail by 12 points to 5.
Okay, hey, listen. What have we been beat on so far? What have we been beat on so far? We've been beat in transition. Okay, There's no superstars that dictate that, okay? We just got to run harder and get back. The other thing is, the perimeter passing, they're allowed to make 1, 2, 3, 4 passes around the perimeter way too easy, okay? Then when they screen and cut, we don't talk and we don't bump, okay? And we don't help, all right? Don't let your man get hung out to dry, all right? Get back a bit, dig in, okay? Put pressure on them instead of being on the back foot. Yeah, if you let them make passes and cuts and screens anywhere they want, they're gonna pick you apart. Okay, get out and dictate. On the post, we don't need to make the post rotation because the guy's going to the free throw line, 3-point line, so just recover straight back to him. All right? Here we go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Hey, off fire.
Well, one man who hasn't seen any action so far tonight, number 11 here for the Sharks, Terrell Myers, former MVP, got a problem with a left hamstring. It's obviously a huge blow for Sheffield.
Well, this is a difficult enough task as is to play against the Spanish champions, Real Madrid. But to do it without a former BBL Player of the Year in Terrell Myers makes it even that much more difficult.
McKinney's shot doesn't go, and you'd fancy Terrell Myers would relish a chance against a team like Real Madrid.
Well, it looks great on your resume if you know in the future Terrell were considering playing in Europe.
Djordjevic knocking that shot out, as I'm sure you will see many times in this tournament. If they give him that sort of space, he ain't going to miss it. Windle tries to reply for 3, not quite at the same level that Djordjevic though. Oh, great pass, super pass from Milic for the easy slam, but what an assist from Iturbe.
Yeah, but Marko Milic, you know, this guy, we're going to see some excitement from him. I want to see him. He was the European slam dunk champion, and he jumped over an automobile to do it. So, I mean, Marko Milic is supposed to be showtime around the ring, so I'm expecting a little bit more than that last dunk we got from Marko.
You'll have to bring your car out of the car park then, Billy, and we'll be away. Ryan King pressuring up court. And Djordjevic.
Ryan King's actually doing a nice job defensively on Djordjevic so far in this game.
Iturbe for 3, just knocking them out. Real Madrid 4 for 4 now, 3-point shooting.
Iturbe can really shoot the basketball. He's big, he's strong, he's got a nice shot. I mean, this is why he was such a talented player in the ACC.
Ryan King now for 3 is short. Madrid come up with the rebound through Nunez. He's off and running. Again, the fast break. Nice and easy fast break, and this is how they're running up this 22-7 lead.
Well, Chris Finch said in his timeout they're getting beat on transition, and you don't have to have superstars to get back and guard people. But Sheffield have made, as we see again, a traveling on Zach Bennett. 2 big problems in the game so far. 1, Sheffield have had too many turnovers. 2, they have not gotten back and done a good job in transition defense.
Zach Bennett, new to the league. That is something a lot of guys, when they first come into this country, come over to Europe in general, struggle with, is just the traveling violations. But the shooting stats in the game tell the story of the scoreline.
9 of 10 by Real Madrid. And believe me, it's not from a lack of defensive pressure by Sheffield. It's just Real Madrid. If they're open, they're that good.
That's an absolutely stunning pass there once again from Djordjevic, and another easy lane underneath.
That's NBA action right there. Djordjevic with the great court vision finds him underneath, an easy 2 points for Real Madrid.
Foul is called on Meek. Ryan King round the screen to the high arcing shot, doesn't go. 4 white shirts there ready for the rebound. Here's Djordjevic running it back, pulls up, misses one. It's human after all, perhaps, Billy.
Sooner or later, they are going to miss some shots, and Sheffield got to just hang around. They can't get blown out in this first quarter.
Scanterbury saves it to Ryan King. Ryan King for 3, and that's the Sharks' second 3 of the night.
Well, you know, Nate's had a reputation at Leicester, at Derby, and at Sheffield of being a great offensive player. Normally, you could count on 50 points a game from Ryan King and Myers. Myers isn't out there tonight. Nate's going to have to score 30, 35 to make up the difference in what they lack from Myers.
Time running out on the offense. Nice move inside. Foul is called on Fab Flanoy, who joined the Sharks from the Bullets over the summer. Here's another look. Gives up a lot of height there.
Well, we've played so far, as I said, 6.5 minutes, and that was the first shot that Ryan King has hit. 3-point basket, only 3 points in the first 6.5 minutes. The Sharks are a guard-oriented basketball team, as we see Michael Payne checking in, another one of their talented shooters. So they are a guard-oriented basketball team, but one of that combination is sitting on the bench with a bad hamstring. Ryan King is going to have to step up. 3 points in 6.5 minutes, not good enough. For them to have a chance with that guy sitting on the bench, I think Ryan King's going to need 40 to keep the Sharks in the game.
Eric Strulens gets the bounce on the second Belgian international. Full court pressure now coming from Madrid. Here's Flanoy out to Ryan King. Ryan King penetrate, great pass to Fab Flanoy, rises high, doesn't go. Strulens with the rebound and Windle knocks it away illegally. Foul is called on Richard Windle.
Well, we saw that on the play there, Fab Flournoy started it with a drive and a kick, and Fab Flournoy is one of the off-season acquisitions made by Chris Finch to join the Sheffield Sharks. There's Fabulous. He's a great leaper. Now, Fab's only about 6'3", 6'4", but he plays so aggressive. He's a tenacious defender, great rebounder. But today it'll be interesting because Fab today is playing against a lot of big bodies. George Zedek, Jiri Zedek has just checked into the game. He played at UCLA. He played for Žalgiris Kaunas, Lithuania, the 1999 European champions. And Zedek is a big boy. So night in and night out, a Fabulous Flanoy doesn't face guys like Zedek in the British League. It'll be a true test to see if his athleticism can take him up against the big boys.
Strulens gets the inbound. Along the baseline, fighting through is Strulens. And I think he'll go to the line on that shot. Foul was called on number 21, Fab Flanoy. 2 in a hurry for Fab Flanoy, both on Strulens. That's the extra height that you've got. And whilst we're talking about Eric Strulens, he was formerly playing in Paris and was at the McDonald's Championship there, played against Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls.
Well, he's a Belgian player. Again, you and I talked a lot, Dan, beforehand about the Bosman ruling. The Bosman ruling has actually maybe had more of an impact in European basketball than European football, where it was originally begun. But if you look at this team today, Real Madrid have brought 12 players here. Only 5 are Spaniards. 1 American, 6 Europeans, either Bosman A or Bosman B players. So Strulen's a prime example.
Just so that you know, on the scoreboard there, the coloring in at the top there on the Sheffield shows that they are in the penalty situation, and any fouls in the remainder of this quarter will be on free throws. Ryan King looking to go all the way. Does so off the glass. Nice move from Nate Ryan King. He said he needs 40. He's got 5 thus far.
He's got to get 35 more for my money to keep the Sharks in this thing.
Offensive foul is called on Eric Strulens. Blocking foul on the big man. His first personal foul. Fab Flanoy setting a good screen to get Ryan King free. Fires up the 3. That one's short. Strulens leading the break, is fouled, but converts the lay-in. Great strong play. Nate Ryan King hit him hard, but he managed to convert the layup too.
Yeah, but that's a bad decision by Nate Ryan King. We said all along, Chris said it in the timeout, Sheffield's getting hurt in transition. You're going to foul a guy in that situation, you better make sure he doesn't get the shot off. If he fouls him, he gets the shot off. Now instead of 2 free throws, it's a 3-point play. So not a very smart move by typically a smart player in Nate Ryan King.
Strulens doesn't convert, but the rebound comes out to Lopez, who flips it back in for 2. Eric Strulens having his troubles from the line. 3 for 6 from the line. Another fast break, and that's an easy lane. How many times have I said easy lane here tonight? Lopez this time on the easy basket.
So far, Sheffield look like they've come out a bit shell-shocked. They just aren't playing with any intensity. They're not playing very smart on either end of the floor. And they almost look like, they're in awe of Real Madrid. Real Madrid has made a lot of substitutions. We see a lot of young kids on the floor right now. Lucio Angulo that we see there, one of the young players for Real Madrid. And the last 2 baskets have been scored by Daniel Lopez. Lopez and Angulo came up through the youth ranks, a program called Real Canu, which is sort of the young version of the Real Madrid team.
Scantlebury for 3 is short. Ball loose, gets tipped out to Lopez. He fires it long to Strulens. Strulin's beautiful move along the baseline from Eric Strulins.
Beautiful move by Eric Strulins here. Great hands first, bring it in, under control, great fake to the floor, back to the baseline, great shot.
Bennett way short on his jumper. Strulin seems to be everywhere with the rebound.
Fans might also notice in the picture number 14, Lopez, the point guard for Real, now with the ball, notice there's no name on the back of his jersey. That's because he's one of the young kids from Real Canoe, asked to be part of this trip to replace a couple of Spaniards away at the Olympics.
Two of the Real Madrid players currently playing in the Spanish team, which might struggle to make the quarterfinals of the Olympics, as Michael Payne knocks out the three. Alberto Anguilla and Alberto Herreros in the Spanish national team in Sydney. That was just too easy along the baseline there for El Salvador. There's Nick Nurse, the Manchester Giants coach, getting ready. London Towers coach, sorry, getting ready to play Manchester Giants. Fab Flanoy whistled for the foul on the charge. Blocking foul on him. Just didn't quite get there in time. And Fab Flanoy will take a breather as he goes to the bench.
Ariel Eslava at the free throw line is another one of the young Argentinians. Brought up in the Boca Juniors program, I think you and I were talking about before the game, and was brought to Real Madrid this year again as a part of their developmental program. And you can see they're spanning international.
Also plays for the Real Canoe team that Billy was talking about earlier. Pete Scanterbury with the jumper. 7 points for Pete Scanterbury. Veteran England international, and you would expect amongst this sort of caliber of player, somebody like Scants to step up.
Peter Scantlebury, 7 points, leading scorer for Sheffield, has just signed a new 2-year deal with the club, and Chris Finch and their organization really love Pete, and rightly so. Pete is a fantastic England international with, over 100 caps, and now he's the assistant coach for Laszlo Nemeth and the England national squad.
Eslava fires up on the buzzer, but it doesn't go. It's been a very, very good first quarter for Real Madrid. They lead the Sheffield Sharks by 36 points to 17.
Now, also here is a little situation. What they're going to have to do in minutes, they have to make a basket and then run the small packet switch you'll see by the three-point arc. Then they make another basket. They have to run back and get the tub, and then a third basket. They run to the halfway line and get the bag. But they must make the basket before they can grab the goodies. So they've got a minute to do it. So this is Glenn. Well done, Glenn. It's away. And down the other end is Amy. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay. No layups. You
He made a shot. The shot is made another time well by Glenn. Second shot is made by Amy, goes up, second shot made by Amy.
Abajo, cuando abajo, ok, no, bueno, un poco para la gente grande, es positivo, ok,
Has one. The big hand for Amy again. Inside the minutes. Now, who wants a few Haribo sweeties? Good to see Harry Boy in here as well. Don't forget, guys, you've got to come over here with them as well. Got people sitting behind here who want that. Got people sitting on the table who want that as well. Stay in your seats, stay in your seats. Don't go up and down the stairs.
Alexander Djordjevic sitting on the bench here as we get underway, but perhaps he might be sitting on a bench in Sydney had things transpired differently.
Well, he's the former Yugoslavian national team captain, a lot of Olympic experience, silver medalist in the final Olympics, the last one that took place before Sydney, but chose not to go. He's got a 6 or 8 month old little girl, wanted to spend more time with his young daughter and his wife, so family reasons kept him out of this Sydney Olympics.
Yes, because whilst they only play for 2.5 weeks, it's 2 months out of your life that you would have to take all the pre-tournaments in, etc.
Preparation with the national team, quite extensive over the summer getting ready for Olympics.
Pete Scanty with the rebound off the missed shot from Zidek. Strulen's reaching in, fouls Zach Bennett.
Pushing foul ball on Eric Strulen's.
Foul number 2 on Eric Strulen's.
Watching Real Madrid play, in this first quarter, they built a 19-point lead at the end of the first quarter, and they did it like really just workman, methodical, like a machine. They play with very little emotion. They're just so talented. I mean, at the level of basketball that they play, they're up there with the top football leagues in Europe. They can go out and get the most talented European and Spanish players to represent their club.
They're in the Euro League this year.
Lopez. Time running out on the offense, something that will happen a lot this year, I think, with the loss of the 6 seconds from the shot clock. Scanterbury penetrates out to Ryan King, giving some room for 3 off the back of the ring. The 3-point shooting struggling on the Sheffield Sharks, but Real Madrid knocking the lights out here. 4 of 5 3-point shooting. Bennett with the jumper, rattles out. Anguillo kicks on to Strulen's, I tell you what, for a big man, he gets down the floor pretty quick because he seems to be on the end of most breaks.
They are really outrunning this Sheffield Sharks team right now. It seems every time we look up, there's another Real Madrid fast break finishing with a layup.
Eric Strulen's with 8 points. He would have more if he could make his free throws.
That's about the only weakness they've shown tonight so far, though.
Wendell spinning on the baseline, gets the shot off, counted, and the foul on Zidek.
Excellent move by Richard Wendell. Again, you're looking at one of the young English players who's got a real bright future ahead of him, but he makes a great move on Jerry Zidek here. And again, you got to remember, Zidek has got a lot more international experience and professional playing experience at the highest level than young Richard Wendell.
Fab Flanoy checking back into the game. 3 fouls on Fab. Still 8 minutes to go in the first half. Wendell converts the 3-point play. It's Real Madrid 38, Sheffield Sharks 22.
Nice comeback here by the Sharks. They've gotten themselves a little bit back in it so far to start the second quarter. They've hit some shots. They've made some plays.
Oh, what a play by Strulen's. Wasn't the greatest pass from Zidek, but he managed to get it to go. And despite stealing the ball underneath, Lopez there traveled with the ball. What a finish, though, by Eric Strulen's.
Well, we've seen Strulen so far has got great hands. Here's another play. Great pass from Zidek, but look at the hands, the finesse, the control, the finish by Eric Strulen.
He certainly wouldn't have had time to catch and land with that one. Ian McKinney, off his own foot, knocks it out of bounds. McKinney, the only surviving member of the Sharks team that last played Real Madrid in the McDonald's Championship in 1995. Anguillo throws it off the legs of Mike Payne to get himself another sideline possession and another 5 seconds. As I say, Ian McKinney's the only surviving member. Chris Finch was also a player at those days before he hung up his boots. Nice spin move inside from Starosta. Doesn't go, gets his own board though. Strulins. Perez is short, rebound Bennett. Ian McKinney inside to Windle. Windle going with the same spin move. This time it's cut off and knocked out of bounds by Anguillo. It'll be a Sharks ball.
This is an opportunity for Sheffield now over the next 7 minutes as we see Richard Wendell making the move and getting knocked out of bounds as Sheffield can maintain possession. But right now, Real Madrid have a lot of young players on the floor, so certainly this Sharks team ought to be able to compete in this quarter and maybe cut this deficit a bit.
Anguillo going all the way to the finger roll, coast to coast from Anguillo.
Disappointing intensity level as you watch there. The replay shows the Sheffield defense open like the Red Sea. And Chris Finch is a great defensive coach. His teams have always been built on defensive effort. And so far in this first half, they have not done a very good job in transition defense.
Richard Wendell catching, it was a shot from Bennett, although it ended up looking like a pass. Starosta, here's the, that is definitely a shot. First foul on Starosta.
Starosta is the actual tallest player on the Real Madrid roster, but again, another one of the young players with the Real Canoe program who's been added to the roster for this trip to London. But at 2 meters 15, he is certainly one of the tallest players in court in London all weekend. Wherever he goes this weekend in London, I'm quite sure they'll think he's a basketball player.
7'1" for those of you who can't work in the new currency.
And he's got another 7-footer next to him there at 2 meters 12 in big George Zedek. So they've got a big basketball team, but throughout the season, I'm not sure that Starosta will be on the senior side too often, but a great preparation for him in this preseason tournament.
Sheffield are at least winning the battle from the foul line there.
Real Madrid haven't done a very good job, but most of that has been the poor shooting of Strulins. He's 2 for 5 from the free throw line, but 4 for 4 from the floor.
There's some logic in there somewhere. Bennett in the low post, backing in. Nice step under, and draws the foul from Starosta again.
Well, the logic of Strulin's excellent floor shooting, as we watch the replay here of Zach Bennett drawing the foul inside on the young Starosta, the logic is that Strulin has to shoot a free throw from 15 feet, and everything else he's caught have been alley-oops from 2 feet.
At the 4th team foul on Real Madrid. Sheffield yet to commit one in the opening 4 minutes here of this second quarter.
Zach Kennedy there continuing the good free throw shooting by the Sharks. And I think the more they attack the basket, especially with this young squad out there by Real Madrid right now, again, they could cut this deficit. The next 2 or 3 minutes going to be a real key. Can they get stops and can they get some offense going?
Perez to Strulins. Shot clock under 10 once again. Strulins going on his own, gets it out to Anguillo, fakes it. Anguillo gets the shot off, doesn't go. Rebound foul for Illinois, and away come the Sharks on the break. Has Wendell ahead of him. Instead finds Payne, who in turn gets it to Wendell. Mike Payne now for 3. Yes, Michael Payne knocks it out. It's down to 13.
Nice three-pointer. Nice. They double down on Richard Wendell. He draws the double team, kicks it to Michael Payne. A big 3 and cuts the lead to 13.
7 without reply from the Sheffield Sharks. The foul is called, I think it was offensively, yes it was. On Starosta was called for the foul, so the Sharks will get the ball back. A timeout first has been called by Real Madrid. Their lead has been trimmed to 13.
Vamos a dejar sitio. Si hay un poste alto, corta. No quiero ningún corte, ni nadie que se vaya para adentro. Vamos a estar fuera del perímetro y dejar sitio para jugar. ¿Está claro? Luego. Poste bajo. Vamos a hacer palma. No, palma doesn't mean stay behind. Press means push out here. Cuando el balón va dentro, no vamos a hacer ayudas largas. ¿Quién ha pedido ayudas tan largas? No, ni había votado. Vamos a estar a mitad del camino. Solo
The
finta.
only two games of the season for the Towers against Derby Storm on the 30th at Derby, and then against the Leopards at Brentwood on the Sunday, October the 1st.
Coming out of that timeout, they'll be disappointed with the floor shooting here, Real Madrid. I mean, 15 for 19 was pretty much running back layups. They haven't had those opportunities here in the second quarter.
No, but also at the end of the day, you got to remember Djordjevic hasn't played yet in the second quarter. We've seen none of Djordjevic. Iker Iturbe, who was a big offensive weapon for Real Madrid, has not played in the second quarter as well. So when you take a look at those factors, you take two superstars out of their lineup, now they become an average team that the Sharks are doing a good job competing with.
Payne, got to shoot it. Flanoy's got to get it off, gets it off, just hits the ring in time, and away comes Nunes. Roberto Nunes going to the basket, doesn't get it, rebound Bennett.
We talked a little bit about superstars. Alexander Djordjevic, probably the highest paid player for the Real Madrid squad, who's sitting on the bench right now getting a much needed rest. But you know, his salary, Dan, is probably as much as the entire Sheffield Sharks and 3 times the entire Sheffield Sharks.
Along the base, nice move along the baseline from Daniel Pires. Doesn't go, the ball bounces back to him though. Anguillo for 3, and they've only missed 1 from deep here tonight. 5 of 6 Real Madrid. If you give them a look, they'll knock it out.
Well, he's too wide open on the play. I mean, at this stage, the Sharks aren't getting hurt by the inside game right now, so I don't really know why they're doubling down, working so hard on the post when they know Real Madrid have good shooters on the perimeter.
Foul call inside on Starosta. That's his 4th personal foul. He'll go to the bench. He's picked up 4 pretty much in a hurry. Meek will come back and replace him, and Wendell just had to step on him there.
Richard Wendell's done a nice job down there. Again, you know, Starosta is 7 feet 1 inch tall, a young, you know, Spanish international, and yet, you know, Richard Wendell has really done very well one-on-one, head-to-head with the 7-footer. And he's drawn 2 more free throws for it, but Starosta has picked up 4 fouls in about a 5 or 6 minute period. So again, you know, hats off to Richard Wendell, the effort he's done inside against the big young Spaniard. Well, I say Spaniard, sorry. Starosta's from the Czech Republic, another one of those Bosman V players.
Once again, Madrid quick down the floor. Pires has to back out though. Nunes steps into a double team, finds Strulens. Anguillo. Meek, under great pressure, gets the shot off and is fouled from the side by Pete Scantlebury. Foul number 1 on Scants. And his Iturbe checking back into the game for Strulens.
Well, you see we've got a 15-point basketball game as we watch Meek here on a nice turn. Very strong, draws the foul, will get 2 free throws. I'm a bit disappointed here in these last 6 minutes that Sheffield have still not cut the deficit too much. They were down 16-17 at the end of the first quarter. They're still down, as he makes the free throw, 16 now. Now the problem is some of the young kids from Real Madrid have gotten in foul trouble. So the coach from Real Madrid, Sergio Scariola, who's a Pat Riley lookalike with the slick back hair down there, has been forced to put a couple of his first team guys, i.e. Meek. There's Pat Riley. Sergio Scariola, excellent coach, one of the best in Europe, but certainly got that Italian Pat Riley look. But he's been forced to put Iker Iturbe and Meek back in the game.
Scantlebury for 3 is short. Away comes Anguillo for Real Madrid. Anguillo, traveling violation, wave off the score. Little jump and skip there from Anguillo. It's Real Madrid 47, Sheffield 30, 3 minutes 17 to go in the second quarter. Chris Finch with a timeout.
Huh? Yeah, don't leave your feet on a freaking press. Okay. let's have Fab, you take it out, okay? Get it to Nate. After you take it out, Fab, get to this spot here.
Okay.
Pete, you're in here, okay? Long, we got, who else we got in there? Oh, we got Bam. Sorry, Bam, you take, Zach, you take it out, okay? After you take it out, get into this spot here, okay? Split these gaps. We got Fab and we got Bam. Whoever, okay, when the ball hits the side here, okay, this guy will come over and trap. The opposite big guy flash in and stay in, okay? And then this guy fills long. That guard will fill long, okay? Take him a bit deeper on the press, okay? And we can make a diagonal against it, okay? Look up court. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go, fellas. Come on now. Defense. 1, 2, 3. Defense.
As we come out of that timeout, take a look at Meek here. His dad used to play over here long time before you came over, Billy. The old Bruno Roughcutters team based up in Liverpool. Larry Meek was his name.
Homecoming for the Meek family today, but Meek also played with Steve Bucknell. This Meek, the young Meek.
Yes.
We're not saying anything about Buck's age. The younger Meek played 96, 97. And I'm sure he's looking forward to a rematch with his old teammate tomorrow, possibly in the final of this tournament, Steve Bucknell from the London Towers.
Ryan King. Windle steps under. Great move from Windle. Perez. Anguilla. Nunez. Fab Flanoy playing the defense. Roberto Nunez going past him. Finds Meek with the jumper. Zach Bennett with the easy board. Tony Holly, the Manchester Giants, watching on. Third year now with the Manchester Giants, one of the survivors from last year's team.
And he was the first acquisition of new Giants coach Andre Lane. Shortly after taking the job, Andre straight away went to Tony Holly and said, Tony, I'd like to keep you, and Tony signed abruptly. So there he is, the first acquisition of new Giants coach Andre Lane. And hopefully we're going to be leading a lot of new Manchester Giants this year in another successful bid.
Zach Bennett can't get the first free throw to go. Real Madrid lead the Sheffield Sharks by 17. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Milic. Perez for three. Daniel Perez, the shot doesn't go. Meek chasing after it. Ball comes down now in Richard Windle's hands.
Richard Windle probably has been the most exciting point for the Sharks in this first half. I mean, Ryan King, as we said, has got to step it up offensively, but only has 5 points. But Windle's been involved in action on both ends of the floor consistently.
Flanoy's shot was missed. Perez racing down court to Nunez for three. Roberto Nunez, nothing but string.
Daniel, I like this young guard for Real Madrid, Roberto Nunez. He's handled the ball well. He seemed a lot like a veteran, but he's a young guard and he's shot well as well. So I'm very impressed with this young Roberto Nunez.
Ryan King for three replies. Nate Ryan King knocks one out, and they certainly needed that. But away comes the fast break from Meek. Count the basket, and the foul is called underneath.
2 points.
Well, as soon as I say that Nate Ryan King's got to step it up offensively, I think as he ran by me, he must have heard me. He knocks down the three. But Nate Ryan King's three is going to be of little help to the Sharks if they can't get back and stop this freight train called the Real Madrid fast break.
Zach Bennett, foul number 1 on him. Sends Meek to the line once again.
As we take a look here, I mean, as Meek gets the free throw,
Sheffield have been consistent throughout 17-17. They lead here now by 20 points to 16 after that 3 from Pete Scantlebury, but they haven't been able to take any real dent out of that first quarter lead. Beautiful move on the baseline from Marko Milic.
I didn't get to see him jump over a car down here. You know, if he could have jumped over a car, he should have jumped over Zach Bennett for the dunk.
Ryan King with a pull-up. Long two from Nate Ryan King, and he's up to 10.
He's going to have to continue to be the offensive firepower behind the Sharks. He's got to become a bit selfish, take more shots.
Meat, under pressure, doesn't go. And there's a Real Madrid player on the floor. Looks like a Turbe.
Didn't see what happened there. It looks like he's been hit in the face. Looks like he's either the nose or the eye, but he's certainly holding his face there.
Here's another look.
As the Turbe goes to the basket, got hit. Richard Wendell must have got him in the eye, I believe. Looked like as he was driving to the basket, one of Richard Wendell's, probably his right hand, hit Ikari Turbe in the left eye. But Turbe will go for a little bit of treatment over there, and hopefully he'll be okay. Eye injuries are kind of a rarity, actually, in basketball. But when they do, you certainly hope that they're nothing very serious.
Ryan King penetrating through to Scantlebury for 3. Yes, Pete Scantlebury with the 3, probably the last score. Yes, indeed. The length of the court, the shot won't go. And Sheffield Sharks, with a late rally here, have trimmed the gap back to just 12. It's Real Madrid 54, Sheffield 42 on that shot from Pete Scantlebury.
clock right? Hey, Nick. Nick.
We're gonna get a team.
Is that right? We're gonna play the second half without the teams, eh? Television. We're not live.
We'll wait for it. It's bad. Like the first game of last season, the referee's got stuck in the changing room at half time. Okay, quick. Missed it. Maybe I can see the other side. That's it. We have no means of communication. We have nothing. There's no communication.
Shit, is that all the time? See a Liverpool score.
Hey. Liverpool won Sunderland. Middlesbrough won.
Result? Yep. Did you see Arsenal?
Everything's draws. Every Premiership game so far has been a draw.
In which case, I think that's going to stay in second place without playing. In second place,
Look, another one.
game in hand.
Another one. Every Premiership has been.
I saw one where Bradford lost to Southampton.
That ain't come up yet. Everyone they roll through has been a draw.
Against the Haribo Towers.
You can't be doing that word. Let's sit down.
You guys. So make some more noise. And he's got fans in the house. Where? Oh, there he is.
Sheffield's playing Real Madrid while they got like 4 fans coming in. She's playing one of the big Baller, I can only see one.
We're ready to go. Oh. We're off and underway then with the second half and back into the game. Alexander Djurgovic throws it out of bounds, knocked out of bounds.
Well, Dan, things get a little tight. I mean, 12-point game to Real Madrid right now is tight, and Alexander Djurgovic is back in the game. So I'm sure he's back out there now to make sure that he can control the tempo and get this game open back up for Real Madrid.
Recreation of those great days.
Struland's hands back to Djurgovic. Djurgovic spins into a double team, loses the ball. Good defense from the Sharks.
Excellent trap there. And, you know, again, you might be able to credit that to the fact that Djurgovic spent the whole second quarter on the bench, and Real Madrid spent the whole halftime in the locker room. So it's certainly there he didn't look warmed up or ready. So he's been sitting down a long time since this turnover.
Ian McKinney all string for 3. It's back down to single figures.
9-point game here, and now if the Sharks can stop the fast break, which they've done on this first possession.
Sheffield Sharks starting to find their range from three-point land, 8 of 15. They were shooting 33% in the early part of the game. Stolen away by the Sharks. Here comes Nate Reinking. Reinking pulls up, fires up for two. Nate Reinking trims it back to a 7-point ball game.
12 points in the game for Nate Reinking, and I've said throughout that he's got to carry them offensively. He's got to be a bit selfish, he's got to take shots, and they've cut this game back to 7 points.
Djordjevic with the pull-up, count it.
Oh, that was pretty, and that was easy. Djordjevic there makes a great move, coming around the high screen, no help from any of the Sharks, pulls up 8-footer. Djordjevic won't miss those.
Lobbed inside from Scantlebury to Bennett. Bennett spinning, short, rebound Strulens. Away comes Djordjevic again. Nate Reinking called for a little pushing foul.
Close to being a foul on Djordjevic. Watch that elbow.
Yeah.
There's the old veteran saying, hey, young Nate Reinking, you know, if you bounce with me, do you know who I am? I'm Alexander Djordjevic. You can't do that. And he takes his elbow and clears him some space.
Milic to inbound.
Alexander Djordjevic talking about, again, the quality of basketball in Spain on the European continent. Djordjevic is probably Real Madrid's highest paid player as we watch him go to the basket here. Whoa.
Oh, nice move. Didn't get the roll.
And his contract for this season will probably be in the range of $800,000 US, possibly 600,000 British pounds. So at the end of the day, you add bonuses on top of that, you add endorsement deals from sponsors on top of that, and Alexander Djordjevic is making what 3 English teams pay their entire team combined. So again, until Djordjevic came to Real Madrid, you got to remember, Real Madrid, one of the finest teams in the history of Spanish basketball, had gone 6 straight years without winning a championship. They bring in Alexander Djordjevic. Last year, they return to championship basketball form and win the Spanish national championship.
And to them, that was well worth the $800,000 invested.
And I'm sure it was worth the move to Spain for Alexander Djordjevic.
Nice place to earn a living. Here is Djordjevic on the ball.
We think it's hot here today in the National Sports Center at Crystal Palace. Beautiful weekend here in London, but I'm sure back in Spain it's even hotter than this.
Strulens inside, nice step under from Eric Strulens for 2. Stretches it back out to an 8-point.
You got to think of home court advantages, Dan. I mean, as warm as it is today in London, I think Real Madrid is probably used to training conditions in a much hotter climate, much like this, different from most of the English teams.
Ranking's shot is blocked. Bennett comes up with the loose ball. His shot is short. Out of bounds, and the Sharks will retain possession.
So although Real Madrid is the visiting team here today, certainly the heat conditions today, this wonderful warm September weekend that we're having, probably makes them feel a bit more at home.
Wendell shot off the side of the ball. Away comes Djordjevic. Djordjevic gets it back, trying to get it to Anguillo, but he was fouled first by Nate Reinking. Foul number 3 on Nate. And with Terrell Myers not playing any time thus far, they can't afford to lose Nate Reinking to foul trouble. 17
more minutes left in this game. You certainly don't want to see Nate Reinking out of this game.
There's the foul trouble so far. Fab Flanoy with 3 fouls in the opening period. He's been okay so far. Starosta came off the bench in the second quarter and picked up 4 in a hurry. Djordjevic off the back of the ring, rebound Pete Scantlebury, and he got a whack there. Is there a foul on that play, or no? It seems as if the referees just stopped the game. Let's have another look at it. Djordjevic went in with the slap, and he got caught from behind as well by Strulens.
I think Djordjevic got him with a finger in the eye as he was trying to make the steal there. But that's the second time we've seen that, and I said generally eye injuries are very rare in basketball. But both teams are being aggressive defensively in the last couple of quarters, and there's been a lot of slapping for the ball. Right now, as we see Reinking bring the ball up to 4 here for the Sharks, this is an important possession. They've cut it to 8 with a chance to go to 6 or 5 if they make a big play here.
Scantlebury, shot clock running out. Bennett backing in. Bennett's got to shoot it. Steps under to Wendell. Wendell off the glass, gets the roll, and it's Real Madrid 58, Sheffield 52.
Nice pass there from Zach Bennett to find Richard Wendell for the easy 2.
Only 6-point lead for Real.
Anguillo wide open for three, didn't go. Oh, tough play by Strulins as he got hit hard. Couldn't get the shot to go. He'll go to the line.
This could be a good foul by the Sharks, as Strulins has not been very effective at the free throw line. 2 of 5, only 40% from the line. So if Strulins struggles on these 2 free throws, it could be a good foul. The Sharks could cut this game even closer.
Zach Bennett whistled for foul number 2. Eric Strulins again draws iron.
I said this is a good foul for Sheffield because no matter what happens now, the most they can make is 1 point on this possession.
Makes the second, does get that 1 point, but Sheffield now trailing by 7 with 16 minutes left in the game.
Full court pressure from Real Madrid here. Djordjevic stepping up top, Milic stepping up.
Scantlebury for 3, short. Bennett with the tip, yes! And now it's down to just 4.
Real Madrid got what they wanted from the press there. Scantlebury took a long shot deep in the corner, a quick shot. He rushed it, didn't make it, but a great offensive rebound by Zach Bennett to cut this thing to a 4-point game.
Milic hands over to Meek. Meek going strong to the basket. Chris Finch having a word with the referee. I think he wanted a charging foul on that, but in the meantime, there's been a timeout called. 5:25 to go, 54-61 Real Madrid lead.
By 7. 5:25 to go. Don't get lots of gear to give away.
Okay, on the press, the ball's here, okay? The other guard has got to be here if we have trouble reversing it, right? We're going this way, right? What? Exactly, that's my point. First of all, this guy's got to, if you're going to be a release, get here. You're too much in a line with this guy. The other thing is, look down, and these guys go deeper, go a little bit deeper. This guy's up pretty far. You can get into that gap. No. Because we can attack them with our guards at the other end, our quickness, okay? All right. Exactly. So all we need to do is get a bit deeper on the next pass. As the zone goes down, you got to keep taking it with it. We're playing too conservatively again. And then at the other end, we're taking a shot.
First game, of course, is the National Cup of the Towers. The way to Madrid, the 14th of October.
Well, there's one thing that you're guaranteed at events like this. You'll always see coaches from around the country. Robbie Pears, the Chester Jets head coach, and there's a man on the right of your screen who's a new head coach, Nigel Lloyd, taking over as player coach of the Milton Keynes Lions. Used to play under Nick Nurse whilst he was at Birmingham. The two will be locking horns in the Southern Conference this year.
Dan, I think Robbie Pears is here because he's hungry for basketball. He hasn't brought his team in. He's the only team in the BBL that has not arrived or practiced yet because he's got a couple of his players, specifically Pero Cameron, playing for New Zealand down in Sydney right now. So Robbie told me his team isn't coming into England till the 1st of October. So I think what we're looking at with Robbie Pears is he's just so hungry. He's itching to coach.
Can't wait to get out there.
There he is. Look at him scratching the ears. You see, he's itching to coach. So he's here today watching.
Chester do start slightly later than everybody else because of their Olympic commitments. Great fast break. Milic with the finish, not quite. Ian McKinney got him and ensured he missed the shot, but Milic will go to the line for a couple.
Dan, I think people, the Sheffield Sharks fans and British basketball fans got to feel really impressed here. We've got a 7-point game midway through the 3rd quarter with one of the strongest teams in Europe. And, you know, Sheffield have hung in there and got back in this game without their BBL Player of the Year, Terrell Myers. So, you know, I think people have got to realize this is a monumental task for the Sharks anyway. Without Myers, it may be an impossible task, but they should certainly be impressed with the effort, the comeback effort of the Sharks, the fact that they're hanging in there and giving us a great game in this 3rd quarter.
Marko Milic, the Slovenian, makes the first free throw. Makes them both. And stretches the Real Madrid advantage yet further. Ball loose on the floor. Kane comes up with it, saves it to Bennett. Bennett, traveling violation on Zach Bennett. Chris Finch applauding the hustle, but he'll be disappointed that they didn't get an easy score hit.
Yeah, great effort. Now, Zach could have got away from that back in the good old US of A, but here in FIBA rules, he cannot do that. You can't jump, dribble before you take the ground. So it's a good call by the referees. He definitely traveled, but we got a 9-point basketball game, and still anything is possible here as Chris Finch looks on.
Take on the winners of the Southern Conference.
Djordjevic bringing it forward for Real Madrid, Spanish champions, former European champions, one of the great powerhouses of European basketball. Milic with the spin, nowhere to go, so he fires it out. Iturbe for 3 now. They just don't get, if you give him an open shot, it's 3.
Well, they are so talented again. You got to remember, Iturbe played at the same level of American college basketball as Steve Bucknell, and he was all ACC. So when he comes into European play, here's a guy with tremendous experience on stateside and internationally in Europe.
Ryan King sells the good fake and then kisses the ball off the glass for 2. There's a guy you know, Billy. Billy Singleton, now of the Leicester Riders, formerly of Thames Valley, and John McCord and Tony Christie in the background there. They're both at Thames Valley.
A lot of BBL players. You're looking at a couple All-Stars there, and John McCord and Billy Singleton. Both have been in the BBL All-Star game on more than one occasion, and we're certainly glad to have Billy back at Leicester with us.
And now with Manchester, formerly of Thames Valley, there's a connection here. Martin Gottfried, who moved up to join Andre Alain and the Giants. Blocking foul is called on Iturbe. That's his first. And just a moving screen.
Good call there, good call. And that's one of the ones off the ball that so rarely is missed. But the 3-man crew that we're using here today certainly got every angle covered, made a good call on the play.
Ryan King into a double team out to Flanoy. Flanoy penetrates to the basket, fires up high, tough shot. Iturbe one-handed plucks it out of the air. Fab Flanoy stepped out of bounds as he tried to wrap up the jump ball with Iturbe. Here's another look. As you watch Fab Flanoy just, did he? Ooh, I'm not sure he did.
Very close, very close. I believe his heel was just over the line, but all you have to do is touch the line and you're out of bounds.
And Willow. Djordjevic back to Anguillo for 3. No, off the back of the ring. Ryan King away and running. Payne in the corner, back to Ryan King. Flanoy spinning, rearranged shot, tough move by Fab Flanoy, and he's fouled.
Very aggressive move to the basket here by Fabulous Flanoy. He's notorious for that kind of play because he's got legs like pogo sticks. He jumps like a kangaroo, and he's always active, so he can create problems for big guys inside when he goes to the basket.
Marko Milic whistled for the foul with just under 3 minutes to go. 66-56 is the Real Madrid lead as Chris Finch and the Sheffield Sharks call a timeout.
Okay, now, all right, listen. This fits perfectly what we want to do, okay? If they run in the press, Fab, you just take it in from the 4, okay? And then we got Pete and we got Ian, okay? Here, getting open, okay? And then step right in, Fab, okay? All right. So, shit, we got, no. Yeah, Mike, you're long. Okay, Mike, you're long. And Bam, you're long, okay? And you guys are looking to flash in, and now when you flash, you gotta look and turn up floor. Fab will be in the middle of the court. We can always give it back to him to handle the ball, okay? Here we go. And then just run your 4 spot after that. Okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, shot.
Take a look at the points by quarter here. Sheffield Sharks winning these second and third quarters. One thing it's worth mentioning here for our fans at home, one of the new rules this year, the timeouts. You get 1 per quarter, 2 in the fourth quarter. How do you think that will affect the game, Billy?
Well, I like that, actually. It's actually more timeouts now because you have 5 in a game where you used to only have 4. And also, I think the fourth quarter is the most critical when you're trying to win the game. And 2 timeouts in the fourth quarter gives you a lot more opportunity to make things happen. Plus, if you add the stoppages between the first and second quarter, if a coach calls all 5 and gets those 2 stops, you've had 7 opportunities during the flow of the game to talk to your team, and that allows coaching. People don't understand one of the major differences in coaching basketball and coaching football is that the coaches have much more of an impact on game day in basketball than they do in football. Football, the preparation is done in the week before the game, but basketball, a coach can influence the outcome of the game on game day throughout the game with timeouts and with free substitutions.
One thing to bear in mind on the timeouts is that they don't carry over. Use it or lose it. Flanoy backing into McKinney in the corner. The shot will go count the basket. There was a foul call. I think it was off the ball. The basket was worth 2, and the foul is on Iturbe. He's questioning the referee there. Ika Iturbe called for foul number 2.
Well, they're going to count the basket here, and because they've called the foul and the Sharks are now in the bonus, Richard Wendell is going to get 2 free shots here. So this could turn out to be a 5-point play for the Sharks in what was a 3, wasn't it?
It was only a 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a 3 in the corner, but because it was a 2, could turn out to be a 4-point play as Richard makes the first free shot there. So when they were down 10, now they have an opportunity to cut it to 6, and that's the closest the Sharks have been since the first quarter.
Wendell does indeed hit them both. It's Real Madrid 66, Sheffield 60. And could the upset be on the cards, Billy?
Well, in the first half, I thought Sheffield did a terrible job in transition defense and played with very little intensity on both ends of the floor. I said they were in awe of Real Madrid. But in this third quarter, they've come out and played hard, they've played smart, and they're in this basketball game.
Perez, his shot is way short, but the ball falls to Iturbe, and he fights his way back up to extend the lead back out to 8. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Payne in the corner. McKinney. Wendell backing in. Wendell traveling violation on Richard Wendell, just looking for the extra step.
Good call there as Richard puts it down. Now he picks it up right here. He's established a pivot foot. Now he moves both feet there. Great replay by the guys with the Sky Sports cams there. No question he moves both feet. Good call by the 3-man crew here today.
Only the 9th turnover of the game for the Sheffield Sharks. Real Madrid have coughed it up 12 times already. Offensive foul called off the ball. I believe it was Marko Milic. Yes, it was, said the referee, with an illegal screen. Here's another look right in the middle of your screen. Sets it at the bottom of the circle, just chasing after Richard Wendell on that pick.
Yep. And you know, the sad thing about that is Marko Milic gets caught, his second personal foul, they substitute him out. But, you know, he didn't really need to make an illegal screen. And sometimes players don't see, you know, what the ramifications of what they're doing. That wasn't even a part of the play. The ball was going away from the screen. Just stay still and don't get caught.
Flanoy. Sharks got to look to get a shot off soon. Flanoy does, goes on his own, couldn't get that one to roll. Zidek just had the extra height to pull it away from Wendell.
Good move by Fabulous Flanoy there, but you got to finish the play.
Perez along the baseline. Iturbe can't hang on to it, out of bounds, and the Sharks will get it back with a chance yet again to trim it.
Well, and you know, we can say all we want about all the young players for Real Madrid that played in the second quarter when Sheffield got back into the game after trailing early by 17. But in this third quarter, it's been the best of the Sharks without Terrell Myers versus the best of Real Madrid, and the Sharks have won this quarter and continue to narrow the gap.
Wendell, great fake. Flanoy with the rebound, and there was a foul on it. It was on Lopez.
Daniel, I, for one, would love to have seen this game with Terrell Myers in it because he's such an offensive weapon. Had Terrell Myers have played in this game, I don't believe we'd be 8 points apart right now. So, again, this is a great statement being made by the Sharks about the quality of the British game.
Fab Flanoy makes it a 7-point game. There is Terrell Myers offering his applause, but yes, you do wonder what an impact that man would have had on the game. Flanoy can't quite trim it back to 68-61. We're inside the final minute of the third quarter here. Lopez. There's Lava, nice move to the basket, doesn't go. Payne tips it to Wendell, and the Sharks have a chance for the final offense here of the quarter. McKinnon to Wendell. Scanterbury now. We'll have a look at the clock, see it ticking down. Scants now for three. Yes, Peter Scanterbury with a big shot, trims it back. And at the end of the third quarter, Pete Scanterbury, a huge shot, has trimmed it down to 4. Real Madrid 68, Sheffield Sharks 64.
It's a 4-point ball game. So, very quickly, happy birthday, Andrea, for the 9th of September. We didn't forget. So, Aaron Thomas and Betsy Jeevers. Now what has to happen here is, as we know this, our contestants are barefoot, shall we say. They will have to run to the three-point line, put their shoes on. Then they have to run to the middle, get as many bags of sweets as they can into the bag. Get the bag, and then keep going up and get the sweets. So, that's the way it works. Anyway, are we all set? Aaron and Betsy, are we ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Tie it up. I'll just put them on there, tighten the shoes. Oh, Aaron Jordan to the lead. Takes the bag. Now, we'll get as much as he can in there. So has Betsy. And Aaron's Haribo around. There's Haribo. There's Aaron. He's got to get the ball now. He's got to make the shot. Oh, goodness. Oh, Betsy got it out. Got to make the shot. Betsy makes the shot. Woo! Well done.
Not in that lock. Come back towards the left. Move left a bit. Whoa, there he is. See the guy reading the book? He's the guy with the knee up. You see the Tika jersey? Yep. He's a Real Madrid Spaniards fan.
Will it be Real Madrid?
Real Madrid fans in the house, but it's the Sheffield Sharks fans who will be the happier at the moment. Pete Scanterbury with a big three at the end of the third. He's the game's leading scorer with 16. Real Madrid's lead, which was as many as 20, is down to just 4, although they have the ball for the opening offense of the fourth quarter.
Daniel, we talked about how this is a great statement about British basketball. What does it say about England international basketball as we look at the ball that's stuck there? Pete Scanterbury is the game's top scorer. Veteran England international, over 100 caps, and he's come to play today. Hey, Pete Scanterbury doesn't make anywhere near the $800,000 they paid Djordjevic, but today, Scanterbury scored more points than anybody in a Real Madrid jersey.
An infringement on the jump ball will see the Sharks get possession and a chance to cut this lead down to 2, or possibly even one with a 3.
Now, you know, if these guys hang on here, cut this thing even closer and pull off the miracle victory, I'm sure that Nate and Pete and a few of these Sharks, Richard Wendell, probably going to go back and ask for a pay raise, aren't they?
Fab Flanoy makes the walk across to the side there. Violations are taken from the sideline. Here's Nate Reinking. Pressure coming up court from Lopez. Windle. Scans. Scantlebury goes past to Turbe, flips it to Windle. Had it ripped away by Perez. There's Lava. Lopez calling the play, takes the high screen. Still Lopez under pressure. Time running out on the offense. Iturbe's got to look to go. Fires up for three. Rattles out. Zidek with the rebound. Sticks it back. Doesn't go. Fab Flanoy off and running. Scantlebury. McKinney. Flanoy. Flanoy driving to the basket is blocked. Away comes Lopez.
We talked about Fabulous being very intense and a great athlete. He's going in there against those big bodies now and struggling to get his shot off in the paint.
Zidek again misses from close inside, and again the Sharks get it back with another chance to cut the gap again.
This has always been one of the knocks against Big George's game, wherever he's been, whether it's stateside in college or at Zalgiris, wherever he's played, is he does not always finish the easy shots inside. And offensively, he's got to get a little bit stronger and a little bit more consistent to continue playing at these top levels.
Daniel Lopez knocking it away from Nate Reinking. Zach Bennett will try and inbound again. This time Scantlebury has it. Reinking, great move from Nate Reinking, knocked loose by Daniel Perez.
I'm sure Laszlo Nemeth, as we watch the replay here, it's, oh yeah, got away with one there. I think Sharks get the ball back, but
Reinking under pressure for three. Zidek with the boards.
That's what Zidek does do well. A big rebound by the big man.
Lopez. Inside to Strulens. Strulens looking to go both ways. Nice, beautiful move from Eric Strulens.
Great move, and anytime Strulens gets close to the basket, he's 5 for 6 inside the paint. He's 3 for 7 from 15 feet away. But if he gets that close, he's dangerous.
Here's another look at the foul at the other end. It was Bennett taking it to the basket and Perez committing the foul as Richard Windle takes a breather. Sean Kennedy checks into the game.
Great play there by Nate Reinking on that last. Reinking did an excellent job of penetrating the Real Madrid defense. He drew the defense, found Zach Bennett going to the basket. Zach Bennett is at the free throw line, courtesy of a Nate Reinking pass.
Zach Bennett at the line. 3 of 4 so far tonight.
He's done a good job at the free throw line on the night, but I'm not sure Chris is going to be happy with his 2-point shooting. Zach is 2 for 10 from the floor tonight, only 20% shooting.
Although, as you made the point, Real Madrid are a pretty big team, and he probably won't come across a team with this sort of size in the BBL.
Absolutely. There's not that many big. We do have one very big guy up in Newcastle land, an England international, Ian White, who is 7 feet 2 inches tall, taller than any of the Real Madrid players.
I think that's a violation once again, as Lava comes running in from the top. You're not allowed to come in from outside. Watch number 16 come racing in. You're not allowed to race in from the top there. You've got to stay out till the ball hits the ring. The guys on the side can go, but you up the top aren't allowed.
Yeah, but you see, that's Ariel Eslava, and down in South America, they allow them to do that, get away with it for the Michael Jordan crowd-pleasing dunks, but not allowed in Europe.
It's a 4-point Real Madrid lead. Sheffield Sharks trailed by as many as 20, 70-66. Stepped out of bounds now, and it's another turnover. Daniel Lopez stepped out of court.
As we watch this replay, head coach Sergio Scariola has got to start thinking, am I going to try to get into the final? If I'm going to get into this final, I better get Djordjevic back in the game, you know, and get my top guys out there, because this has become a dogfight for Real Madrid.
Reinking fires up the jumper, doesn't go. Rebound Strulens, away comes Eslava. Has Zidek with him, right through Zidek's hands. Bennett with the steal. Chris Finch leaps from the bench and says slow down, but when is this man going to leap from the bench?
Well, I think he's waiting on Sergio to give him the call, but right now Sergio looks like he's trying to prove a point with some of his players on the court, and I don't know how long he's going to try to make this point last.
McKinney for three, short. Kennedy chasing it down. McKinney diving on the floor, will take a jump.
I say if Ian McKinney had hit that shot, this man, there we go. I think he just said he turned to the bench. And
he did turn to the bench, but it's Marko Milic who's getting ready to come into the game.
Marko coming back into the game on the next possible substitution.
Should be allowed in now, but they don't seem to, unless he's coming in for the jump ball. We can only assume he is awaiting the jump ball and will come in for Eslava. Eslava wins the tip, and the two Daniels, Perez and Lopez, fight for it. It's Lopez who has it now. Lopez through the middle, good feed to Zidek. Zidek can't get it to go. Zidek tries again.
We said a moment ago
again.
that Zidek doesn't finish well, Daniel, and that's what you saw there. Missed 2 layups close to the basket. He's had 4 or 5 opportunities to increase the Real Madrid lead, and Zidek has not finished.
Foul called off the ball on Sean Kennedy, and the Sharks have had 2 or 3 opportunities here to pull this back to a 1 or 2 point game and just haven't quite got it to go.
Very, very tough call there away from the ball. Sean Kennedy again not being very smart. The Sharks coming down the floor with a possession that could cut the game to 2, maybe 1 if they hit a 3, and he gets caught with a dumb foul off the ball.
Eric Meek checked back into the game for Real Madrid in that last break. Meek offering the screen. Strulins fires up, very poor shot off the glass. Canterbury leading the break to Reinking. Reinking with an 18-foot jumper rattling out. Kennedy fighting for it, gets the rebound, fires back up, that doesn't go. Tipped out by Bennett. McKinney for 3. No, just can't get the basket to go. They've had so many opportunities at 70-66 and just couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, but you know, that was a great offensive possession there for the Sharks. Good ball movement, great aggressiveness for the rebound. It just didn't hit the shot.
Through the hand, Sheffield Sharks going 6 minutes now without a score.
Well, without a floor basket.
Without a floor shot. They've made a couple of free
throws.
And at last, into the game comes Djordjevic.
6 minutes left in the game, and we see number 6, Alexander Djordjevic, without a doubt, probably the most experienced player in this game. Now you see, he's only scored 5 points in this game, but the bottom line is his presence on the court does so much to carry this Real Madrid side.
Nate Reinking hands over to Bennett. Wendell up top looking for some options. Still looking, Wendell going on his own, all the way through the middle. Wendell fires up, didn't get it. Might have got away with an extra step there.
I tell you, Sergio Scariolo is really going to have to start questioning himself, because in the second quarter, he went into the second quarter, I believe, 17 points up. And in the second quarter, he benched Iturbe, he benched Meek, he benched Djordjevic. He sat his superstars on the bench for 10 minutes. Then he kept his team in the locker room the entire halftime, and they've never recovered from that. The third quarter, the fourth quarter has all been about the Sheffield Sharks comeback.
Richard Wendell misses it, but at last Sheffield get off 66. It's a 3-point Real Madrid lead over the Sheffield Sharks with just over 5 to play. A steal now from Flanoy. The Sharks can cut it to 1 or possibly tie.
Can the Sharks, without Terrell Myers, pull off the impossible miracle today at Crystal Palace?
Still haven't got a floor basket to go for nearly 7 minutes here, though, the Sharks. Wendell spinning, got to get the shot off, got to fire it up from the floor. That'll be a 24-second violation, and I think it's the first time I've seen it in the preseason.
I was going to say that this game has been playing now for almost 35 minutes, and all this talk about reducing the shot clock to 24 from last year's 30. That is the first shot clock violation in this game. So is it a problem? I don't think so. I think the coaches have taken it on. The players love it. It speeds up the game, and we've had a great game.
I know you've had a lot of games in the preseason, Billy. I'm pretty certain your team never got called for a 24-second violation.
Funny enough, we've seen it on our opponents a few times, but no, the Riders will never have a violation.
The shooting has really taken a dive here in the fourth quarter. 1 for 14 between the two teams.
And Sheffield yet to hit a field goal in the fourth quarter, but Real Madrid has only knocked down one, so maybe that awful long halftime has got both teams a bit rusty.
Sheffield really have won every quarter thus far, apart from the first, and they've still not taken back the full points deficit that they got from that first quarter.
Yeah, but Daniel, sometimes games are won in the first quarter if you can build big enough leads, and maybe Real Madrid had enough in that first quarter to keep the Sharks at bay.
Djordjevic shows you why he's on $800,000 a year.
I was going to say, when you bring the $1 million man, you know, not the $6 million man, but the $1 million man steps back on court and makes a big field goal.
Oh, and here comes Djordjevic on the break. He'll finish this one off. Chris Finch wants a timeout. 4:20 to go, and Sheffield had a chance. They were there within 3. A couple of quick fast breaks. Djordjevic with a 3 and a lay-in, and suddenly Real Madrid open up an 8-point lead. Djordjevic, easy as you like after the 3, straightens up his net. Timeout to the Sharks, 75-67.
Let's go. Ian, get Fab on this off. Here we go. Good job, Fab. Okay. Let's run a fist offense. Let's come down and run a fist offense. We'll put Pete on the baseline. Okay, put Pete on the baseline, see what we get out of it. We got Ian, we got Nate. Now they'll probably come out here and deny. Actually, no, change that. We want to run up. This is what we want to do. We want to run up. Okay, we want to run up, and then we're going to backdoor Nate. Okay, they're overplaying that. Got it? Backdoor Nate. Okay, so take your time, give him a good pass. If he's not there, hold it. We'll run the kickback option. Got it? We're going to run up. All right, and we're back. What's happening is, as Nate goes away, we want to reverse it. They're going to deny. Before we cut, hold your cut a split second so we can get a chance to backdoor in the lane. Okay? Here we go. Look for the kick out. It's not there. 1, 2, 3. Sharp.
If I got Nate, here you go.
Good job, Fab. You ready?
Terrell Myers still has a smile on his face coming out of that timeout, but you just think if Terrell Myers was on court, this might be an 8-point lead the other way.
Well, I tell you, he's got to increase his confidence in his teammates today and say, gosh, if you guys can do this without me. Look at that.
Oh, great block. Super block by Marko Milic.
The sad thing is that play was right off the drawing board. Chris Finch asked for a backdoor from Nate Reinking. They got it, but a great block by Milic negated the call.
Milic now at the other end, stepping under. Rebound, Bennett. Milic almost knocks it away from him, but Reinking has it now. 8 minutes now since the Sharks got a basket in open play. Reinking. Scantlebury. Back to Nate Reinking. Reinking splits the defense with the jump shot off the back of the ring. Bennett tips it, but only as far as Strulen's. And still, Sheffield can't get a jump shot to go, Bill. Strulen's from the elbow, knocks it out. And suddenly, from it being a couple of points, it's up to 10.
That was the deepest shot I believe Eric Strulen's has made tonight. You know, he struggled at the free throw line. That was a little bit beyond the free throw line.
9 minutes since the Sharks got a field goal. That goes back into the 3rd period since they had last open play score.
I think it's important to point out that the Sharks have cut this game to 3 with chances to get closer, but then enter the $800,000 man, Alexander Djordjevic.
I think that has summed it up. As soon as he came on court, he knocked out a 3, back a layup, and it's a 10-point game. McKinney with the jump shot. Still Sheffield can't get one to go. Long outlet pass is too long for Anguillo. And Fab Flanoy will check into the game for the Sharks. 0 for 7 floor shooting Fab Flanoy.
9 points for Bennett.
But the rest of his team haven't shot the ball too much better, certainly in the last 10 minutes. Flanoy blocked, oh, tremendous block by Strulens. Meek, sorry. Meek was chasing it down. There was a football violation. Here's another look at that block by Meek.
Again, we're looking at one of the bigger teams that the Sheffield Sharks will face all season. And every time they take out one big man for Real Madrid, they bring a bigger man back for him. So they've got athletes, they've got size, they've got talent. You know, they're a class act.
Flanoy for a long two. And it went over the top of the board, out of bounds. That'll be a Real Madrid ball. Eric Meek, 8 points, 4 boards. Inside the final 2 minutes, Strulens, ooh, he's got the stroke now.
Talking about the depth and talent of this Real Madrid squad as we watch the replay here. Of the 12 players dressed out for Real Madrid today, 11 have played double figures minutes. So you're talking depth, talent, size, you know, experience. This is why this team are the Spanish champions.
And the only one who hasn't played double-figure minutes is Starosta, and that's because he picked up 4 fouls in his 4 minutes that he was on court.
That's right. You know, funny thing about Starosta, the young guy from the Czech Republic, he's just recently joined the club here. He's played 4 minutes today. He's had 4 fouls. He's a foul a minute man. So they better not be looking to get a lot of time out of him this season. He can never play more than 5 minutes in a FIBA game.
I'm not quite sure what happened there. Ian McKinney seemed to drop the ball, and they'll restart it. McKinney trying to get him to touch it, I think.
And that's kind of dumb of Real Madrid. They're slapping at the ball. If you knock the ball while it's in McKinney's possession out of bounds, you know, that's actually a technical foul. You can't interfere with the ball until it's interplay.
It doesn't seem like any sort of shot will go for the Sheffield Sharks. McKinney stumbling to the ground, keeping it alive. Good play from Ian McKinney. And Sheffield 0 for 13 here in the fourth quarter. Scanterbury, yes! At last, it's taken over 10 minutes for Sheffield Sharks to get a score. It's their first field goal of this quarter.
When we talked about the quarter scoring, we saw Real Madrid won the first, Sheffield won the second and third, but the fourth quarter again has belonged to the boys from Spain. And they have controlled, hey, and this guy with the basketball, we talked at the beginning about Djordjevic's ability and quality. When Djordjevic walked into this game, it was a 3-point basketball game. His presence, as I said before, Djordjevic has only scored 10 points in the game tonight, but it's his presence. It's not always about how many numbers you get yourself individually scoring. His presence on the floor has really affected his team's performance.
And 5 of those points came in a hurry just after Sheffield had cut the lead back down to 3. Nice move. Strulens has had a good game today.
8 points this quarter.
Big game for Eric Strulens. I mean, the only thing he's done poorly is he's not made free throws.
He's a rebound away from a double-double is Big Eric Strulens, 9 boards. Richard Windle, though, at the other end, has had a good game for the Sharks.
No question, the young guy's got 16 points, which is actually the 3rd highest score in the game. Strulens is the game high with 21, and then the England international Scanterbury on 18. But the next highest score in the game, Richard Windle. Great performance from the young Englishman for the Sharks.
There's the leading scorers, just reiterating what Billy was saying. Foul called there on Richard Windle.
You got to like my guy, Iker Iturbe, though. Iker Iturbe's got 15 points for Real Madrid. He's the 2nd high man on their team. But Iker Iturbe has 15 points, and he's got them in only 14 minutes court time. So we talk about Starosta being a foul a minute. Iker Iturbe is worth a point a minute. If he plays 40, look out.
Strulens stepping under. Didn't quite get the roll. The foul is called. Pete Scanterbury owns up to it.
There he is, Iker Iturbe. I've got my mom and dad back in South Carolina be awful proud of him today because they followed him throughout his Clemson career, and my dad kept saying, well, you ought to sign this guy. So I think my dad needs to understand he got a little bit more money at Real Madrid.
at the line.
Djordjevic having a chat with the referee there. Not quite sure what about. The call went his way.
Yeah, but the real question is you're kind of wondering if the 3 English officials here today understand anything Djordjevic is saying.
I'm sure his English is a lot better than the referee's Yugoslavian.
Absolutely.
Reinking for 3. 17 points now for Nate Reinking. He's the second top scorer on the Sharks team. Meek inside is fouled by Scantlebury. Finished hard. The basket will count for Eric Meek. He'll go to line for a 3-point play.
This has been an outstanding basketball game, and I think Chris Finch and the Sheffield Sharks have to be well pleased with their performance today. But at the end of the day, you know, he knows if Terrell Myers plays, this is a different game. It's a totally different game because Myers is a guy that can walk out there and get you 30 any occasion. So what he has learned is that all of his other guys have really stepped up their games in the wake of Myers' injury.
Sheffield then with plenty to take from this game, but it's Real Madrid who move forward to the final. Comfortable winners in the end, 85 points to 74. Real Madrid over the Sheffield Sharks.
Much respect to the Sheffield Sharks. The Westfield Sharks, Sheffield. They held them right until the end. But tomorrow they'll be playing the first game. Your appreciation to both teams, please, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't forget, coming up now, or pretty soon, the Northern Conference and overall champions, the Manchester Giants, taking on the Southern Conference and Uniball Trophy champion, Haribo London Towers. Until then, here's the music.
Quick level for you, Andy. Okay, I'm out of vision. Okay. Alexander, you bring an awful lot of experience yourself and the team to this tournament, don't you?
Well, yeah, pretty much, I'll say. But still, this is a great tournament with good teams who are playing a good basketball. And today we had a tough job against the Sheffield, but it was a good game.
What about the free throws for your team? Because you seem to be strong in every other area. That seemed to be the weakest link for you today.
Well, it's normal because we are at the beginning of our preseason action, not even the season. So you know, you don't practice that much free throws or shooting drills and stuff. You're, working on your on your physical readiness, right? So it's more about that.
Do you know anything about the other two teams? One of them you will meet in the final, Towers or Manchester?
Well, not a lot actually. We didn't play a lot. I actually never played in England. This is my first time, so I don't know a lot. I'm sure our coaches know a lot, and they'll try to inform us about the team.
Well, we're very lucky, aren't we, to have you here, because you could have been and should have been at the Olympics, but you made a decision not to go to this Sydney this year. To the Olympics.
Yeah, well, it was a decision. A family decision, because I have a little daughter, 16 months old, and I wanted to spend this summer with her, with my wife, and I owe that to my family, and this was the best time of my life. So that was actually that. I've been to the Olympics. I know what's all about. I'm sorry not to be there and help my teammates, but I'm not finished. There's another Olympics in 4 years, so hopefully we'll be there.
I'm sure your wife and daughter are very pleased to have you home. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just 2 questions, because we have to go to the locker room.
Yes, very quickly. Eric, you speak very good English, I understand.
I better.
Just stay there, yeah. Well, Eric, you had a great start to this game, certainly the first and second quarter, but Sheffield gave you a bit of a run for your money in the third quarter, did they not?
Oh yeah, they came out in the second half a lot more intense. and we didn't match it. In a game like this, if we get a lead, you can't relax. You got to make sure to keep going strong, and we didn't do that as much in the second half.
Was that the only weakness that you felt let you down in that second half of this game?
Yeah, we just didn't come out intense enough, and they came out and did a great job.
Now you should, by rights, know more about this English game. I believe your father was here in the 60s?
No.
Right, we've been given some wrong information because there was one of your other players. Now, you get to meet either Manchester or Towers in the final. Do you know much about these two teams?
I really haven't played against many teams in England. I know the Towers are supposed to be a very good team, so we'll see what happens.
How important are these sort of tournaments pre-season for you and the boys?